What's up, guys, and welcome to the Foot and Fist Sports Network, where today we're going to be talking about the huge news announced by the UFC yesterday. Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 2 is official for UFC 200, and what a fight it's going to be. Possibly the biggest fight in UFC history. You know, the original fight sold massively. It went way past 1.5 million buys, which is massive for the UFC, considering how they've been going in recent years. And this fight has all the capabilities to exceed that even further. The fight's going to be fought at welterweight once again, which is a decision that I don't quite understand by Conor McGregor, who actually pushed himself. He was the one pushing for the fight to actually be fought at 170 pounds. I don't see why he would want that. If you look at the weight class, it favors Nate Diaz, who's a much bigger opponent. He's much taller. He's just a bigger guy, and he's had a lot of experience at welterweight, and he's had a lot of success at welterweight too. We know what Nate Diaz is going to bring. He's the badass. He's going to bring a great chin, great boxing, and extremely good jiu-jitsu. He's light years better than Conor McGregor when it comes to jiu-jitsu, and we saw in the last fight. What does Conor have to do differently? The thing I question most about Conor is whether he can adapt his body by UFC 200 to fighting at 170 pounds. Sure, the last fight we saw that he had some flaws, but he was taking on a completely different weight class on short notice, so he wasn't exactly expecting to be fighting at welterweight. That's a big difference in carrying that kind of physique. So I question whether he's going to have enough time to adapt himself to fighting for 5 rounds with that kind of body. He's going to have to get used to carrying around that kind of weight for 5 rounds, because Nate Diaz is not easy to finish. In fact, I would say he's near impossible to finish. He's just such a tough guy. So he's going to have to be prepared to go 5 rounds with the guy who does not get tired. We're talking about a triathlete here. We're talking about a guy who focuses more on volume than on power, But when he throws, he's got some goddamn power. So Conor's going to have to be ready for that. And I really do question whether he's going to have the abilities to make not only the technical leap when it comes to his jiu-jitsu and being, pacing himself more as a striker against such a big guy, but just in general, whether he's going to be able to make those physical improvements in having the stamina to go 5 rounds with a guy like that. I think overall it's going to be a great fight. It has everything that you need to have, a tremendously fun fight, and I think it's going to be even better than the first one. Let me know in the comments how you think it's going to go. Another big fight that was announced yesterday was Frankie Edgar versus Jose Aldo for the Interim Featherweight title. I think that if you look at how things have gone ever since Conor became the champion, this was a fight they should have made from the very beginning, as soon as Conor said he wanted to fight at 155. Regardless of what's going on now with him fighting at welterweight, I think that from the very beginning, you have Jose Aldo, who had the belt for 10 years, was undefeated for 10 years, had the belt for so long. He dominated everybody. He cleaned up the division, more or less, before Conor showed up, And you had Frankie Edgar, who in his own right probably deserves the title fight even more because of the run that he's gone on, and just on what he's done. He finished Chad Mendes, which is a huge feather in his cap. He beat Uriah Faber. He destroyed Cub Swanson, so you cannot deny that guy a title fight. So I think that when you had Conor McGregor fighting in a different weight class, you should have just mixed those two guys up together to see who is the legit #1 contender. And I think that now that Conor is taking another fight in a different weight class, it's a perfect chance for them to make an interim champion and have an extra title fight on the card. Dana White said there's going to be multiple title fights, including what I would assume is going to be Miesha Tate versus Holly Holm too. He said there's a chance of having a female title fight. Joanna fights right before that, so I don't see that happening. So it's probably going to be Miesha Tate versus Holly Holm. Anyway, so I think this is a great chance for the UFC to put in the 2 top contenders in the featherweight division against each other to not only sort of clear out who is the actual #1 contender, but also give Aldo a chance to redeem himself and show that he deserves the rematch with Conor, and also give Frankie Edgar a chance to show that he made so much improvement that he's gonna win the rematch against Jose, and he's gonna take what he sees as his belt. I think Frankie Edgar is gonna win the fight. I just think that at that weight class, Frankie Edgar is the best fighter at the moment. I think he has everything that it takes to beat both Jose and, most importantly, beat Conor. I think that's the biggest threat for Conor. And I think that it's going to be one hell of a fight, and I really, really look forward to UFC 200. The card's looking great. Travis Brown versus Cain Velasquez, Jose Aldo versus Frankie Edgar and Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz. I mean, if it's true that they're going to add even more title fights, and they're going to add, they're just going to have some tremendous fighters, and I just can't wait to see how that plays out. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comment section what you think of Jose Aldo versus Frankie Edgar, and what you think of Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz too. Let me know who else you would like to see on the card, and what you think of the announcement so far about UFC 200. Do you think it's going to be a great card? Do you think it's going to be better than UFC 100? Or do you think it's going to be a little bit less quality? Alright guys, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.